All right, everybody. My name is Eugene, 30-year veteran to mechanics. Today we're working on a 2007 Hyundai Sonata. Customer complaint was rattling underneath. I jacked the car up, looked out, found out there was a stabilizer bracket that was broken, replaced the stabilizer bracket and the bushing, and did a transmission flush. And so that's all taken care of. Another customer complaint on the vehicle is only one of the windows are going down. So what we're going to do here today, this is an instructional video, teach you how to diagnose if you have a window regulator problem or switch problem. So I'm going to get the camera from my lovely assistant real fast, and I'm going to show you what we're working with. All right. So right here, I've already pulled the panel off. So, like I said, it's a 2007 Hyundai Sonata. Okay, so we're going to diagnose whether we have a switch problem here or whether we have a window regulator problem. It's very important because you don't want to go spending money on a window regulator and find out that it was the switch that was making the problem. Okay, so right here, you can see right there, that's the motor that rolls the window up and down. So one of the things we're going to do here today is I got a little trusty dusty test light, very inexpensive, probably about $4 or $5 at Walmart or your local parts store. Okay, so I have this side taken apart, and I am going to walk around to the passenger side, and I'm going to show you how to disassemble this assembly. Okay, one of the problems here too is this switch here. See, it's that there is broken, so we know that switch is bad. One thing about mechanics is knowing. So one of the important things, you got to try not to break anything, because breaking things get expensive. Okay, so that switch is broken, so what we're dealing with, I'm trying to determine whether to replace the whole switch, the switch assembly for the driver's side door that controls all the other windows. And so, so we want to verify that it's got power and there's power going to the motors and that they're doing everything they need to do, because as of now, only 2 windows are going down. Okay, I'm gonna show you on this passenger side how to disassemble the door. It is my day off, so I'm not at my shop. I'm doing a little work at home. Oh yeah, this car is about ready to ship, and what's going to happen after this, I'm going to send it out. Well, I'm going to order our parts once I figure out what we need. Okay, so we're here. Sorry with the shadowing and the lighting. Okay, so we're here. Okay, so what we got to disassemble this. Okay, so down here, let me see. Down here, right there where you pull the door shut, there's a little screw underneath that little deal there. You can use a pick, which is like a sharp object, and pop that out, and then you'll be able to have access to the screw right there. And right here, where the door latch is at, there's another little deal there that you can pop out with a sharp object. Then always right here around the mirrors, usually these pieces here pop into place. So like I said, take your time. You don't want to break anything, and that will pop right off right there. You can probably use a screwdriver or a hook tool right there in between the rubber and just pull real easy, like you don't have to be a brute with it, or you will break something. Okay, right here, there's another little screw hole there. You get a sharp object and pop that little nipple out right there, and you'll have access to that screw. Same thing here on the tan piece. There's another screw there. Like I said, it's 2006, 2007 Hyundai Sonata, same thing. Okay, so we go down here, and we have a screw right there. Let's see. Kind of bad lighting. So hopefully I'm getting all this. I can't even, okay, so there's a screw there. And go along right there, and there's another screw. And that's all the screws right there. You gotta make sure you have all the screws out. Then we come up along the side of the door over here on the side, and we have another little nipple, and you pop that out, and you'll have access to the screws there. That is all the screws right there. After you take all the screws out, you can use your hands or a flathead screwdriver to go along here, and you'll pop that whole panel off, and you gotta slide it up carefully, and you slide it up, and it'll come off the window. And of course, you gotta have this this piece here removed before you can gain access to that. Like I said, take your time. You don't want to break anything. Okay, I'm gonna move around the other side of the car. And I'm gonna hand the phone to my lovely assistant. Alright, so make sure you get everything I'm doing. I'm gonna be very brief here. So we're gonna put the key in the ignition so we can power up the system. Gotta get power to the doors. Okay, so one of the main things I want to check, so I'm gonna take my trusty dusty test light here. I'm gonna find a ground, a known ground. You know, usually any bolt, most bare metal is most of the bare metal is the things. Okay, so what I want to do now, I want to power each switch. So we know this switch here is out. So what I'm going to do with my test light, I'm going to dig in here, and actually I ought to be able to unplug the motor here and check it out. So what we're looking for, and when you're unplugging things, you want to be real careful with the clips because you don't want to break anything. Okay, so what we're looking for here, we're looking for power coming to the motor from, you know, if you got your test light grounded, you'll see power to the motor. So right now, unless I have a background, I currently have no power to the motor. I just pulled off the fuse panel. I want to verify that my test light got a good ground, and doesn't appear that it has a good ground. The key is on. Okay, so the test, well, that's probably what happened. The test light popped off. Don't do what I just did. Okay, so the test light is now lighting up. You can't see it, that's okay. It's lighting up. And while we're on that subject too, that's the best way to check your fuses. If you're ever in doubt of if you have burnt fuses, quickest, best way to check them, use a test light. Don't sit there pulling one at a time. It's too timely, you know. People got other things to do rather than sit and mess with a car all day. Okay, so back to our switch. Okay, so I got my test light. It's grounded. I'm checking the switch to see if there's any power here. Okay, so we got a little power to here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, we got a hot wire coming in. So what I'm gonna do, I gotta now verify So what I now want to do is verify that we have power to the switch and to the motor. So as I power up the motor, are you able to, I want you to use one hand to pull that switch back, and then to keep, and with your other hand, so just hold the camera with one hand. Don't put your fingers in front of the lens. Okay, so with the other hand, pull that switch back.
Like that?
And keep filming. Got my daughter helping me here. Okay, now I need you to put the camera on this here. Okay. All about family too. Okay. Power to this. We got power. It might be a grounded system. So that's another thing to take in consideration. If it's a grounded system, then you do everything reverse. You can put you can place the ground clip of the test light on the hot wire, and that'll allow you to check out the wiring of the system. It appears here that this whole setup, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pause it for a minute, and I'm gonna pull this whole panel off, and then we'll get back here.